Glutathione, yes, it is a tripeptide made up of three amino acids: glutamate, cysteine, and glycine. It's synthesized in two step catalyzed by gamma glutamyl cysteine synthetase and glutathione synthetase. This figure shows the structure of glutathione where the three amino acids are linked. Gamma glutamyl moiety is made joined to cysteine by peptide bond, and cysteine is bind to glycine by another peptide bond. So this is how glutathione is made up of these three amino acids. There are two forms of glutathione. One is reduced form represented as GSH, and other is oxidized form written as GS. The SH reduced form is SH group is indicative of the sulfohydryl group of cysteine, and it is the most active part of glutathione. GS, that is the oxidized glutathione, is converted to GSH, that is reduced glutathione, by the enzyme glutathione reductase and NADPH. This NADPH is supplied by the pentose phosphate pathway. Now we will discuss the functions of glutathione. Glutathione SH, that is GSH, a reduced part, has a role in absorption and transport of amino acids in GI tract, that we have discussed in digestion and absorption chapter. That is, the glutathione combines with the amino acid present outside the cell wall, forms a tetrapeptide, which is then divided into two dipeptides that are then they will again give away that new amino acid into the lumen, and a glutathione molecule is reformed. That is the function of the GSH. GSH acts as an activator of some enzymes. Few of enzymes like papain, they get activated in presence of GSH. GSH has a role in inactivation of insulin hormone in reaction role needs its insulin. Glutathione transhydrogenase enzyme. The enzyme is present in liver. So here the action of glutathione on the insulin molecule is shown. On the left side is the active insulin molecule having two disulfide bonds. These two disulfide bonds are broken and sulfahydryl moiety is formed. This converts active insulin into inactive insulin. Then the other important compound formed from glycine is creatinine. Creatine, that is the N-methyl guanidoacetic acid, is having important role in the energy metabolism. Functions of creatine include: creatinine is a phosphate. Creatine is a phosphocreatinine. Creatinine phosphate by by creatine kinase enzyme using ATP as the phosphate group donor. This occurs in muscles. That is, creatinine is phosphorylated to creatine phosphate by creatine kinase enzyme using ATP as the phosphate group donor. This occurs in muscles. Second, creatinine phosphate act as a store of high energy phosphate in muscles and is used during muscle exercise as it can give rise to phosphate as it can use its phosphate group to ADP to convert it into ATP. Here is the structure of creatine. It is made up of three parts or three amino acids. They contribute to this. First one is glycine, then arginine. It forms guanidoacetic acid. That is then methylated. A methyl group is added to that, which will convert it into methyl guanidoacetic acid or creatinine. Synthesis of creatinine. It is synthesized from three amino acids, glycine, arginine, and methionine. This occurs by two reactions in kidney and liver. First, in kidney, the first transamidation is transamidation, that is transfer of guanido group from arginine to glycine occurs to form guanidoacetic acid. Second part of the reaction is in liver. The second reaction is transmethylation, that is transfer of methyl group from S-adenosylmethionine to guanidoacetic acid to form the creatinine. This diagram gives the complete picture of the role of creatinine and formation of creatinine. On the left side, the first reaction, that is arginine combines with glycine to give guanidoacetic acid. This is done by the enzyme arginine guanido transguanidase, and arginine gives away ornithine moiety. This guanidoacetic acid is then methylated. A methyl group is added by guanidomethyl transferase, forming creatine. Creatine is then phosphorylated by a kinase, creatinine kinase, to give creatinine phosphate, which is unenzymatically converted into creatinine. Creatinine kinase enzyme. The enzyme which converts creatine into creatine phosphate, called as creatine kinase, has got biochemical importance as well as clinical importance. There are different isoenzymic forms of creatine kinase which have different role in body with respect to the organ where they are present. The creatine kinase, also called as creatine phosphokinase, it catalyzes the formation of creatine phosphate. It is present in three forms, isoenzymic forms in serum. First isoenzymic form is CKMM, derived mainly from skeletal muscles. Serum levels of these isoenzymic forms are found elevated in muscle disease or muscle atrophy. Second isoenzymic form is CKMB, derived from mainly from heart muscles, and its serum levels are found elevated in recent myocardial infarction. Third type of isothermic form is CKBB, derived from the brain, and its serum level is elevated when there is a damage to brain cells. These isothermic forms are clinically very important because they are used in diagnosis of muscle damage or myocardial infarction or stroke. In those pathological conditions, their levels are respectively found elevated. That is, CKMM is found elevated in muscle damage, CKMB is found in heart damage, heart muscle damage, and CKBB found in brain damage. Degradation of creatinine phosphate giving rise to creatinine. This creatinine phosphate loses water and phosphate molecule to form a substance called as creatinine, that is anhydrous creatine. Creatinine is the end product of and is normally removed from the blood and excreted to urine. The diagram is now almost repeated. Same, that is formation of creatinine followed by degradation. Formation by condensation of two amino acids, arginine and glycine, forming GAA. GAA is then methylated to give creatine. Creatine is phosphorylated to give creatine phosphate. Creatine phosphate is converted into creatinine. Diagnostic importance also we have discussed, that is estimation of plasma creatinine. The normal level of plasma creatinine is 0.6 to 1.2 milligram per dl, is used as a kidney function test, whereas high blood creatinine level along with urea levels are sensitive markers of renal impairment. Here is diagrammatic representation how creatinine makes it tour in kidney and liver. The first reaction of formation of guanidoacetic acid takes place in kidney. That is, arginine combines with guanidoacetic acid to give a guanidoacetic acid. This reaction is called as transdeamination. This guanidoacetic acid formed in kidney is then sent to liver. It travels to liver. There in liver, it is acted upon by the enzyme S-methyl guanidoacetic acid. This is called as transmethylation. By transmethylation, guanidoacetic acid is converted into creatine. This creatine in muscles is phosphorylated by a kinase, forming creatinine phosphate. This creatinine phosphate is catabolized by losing one water molecule and phosphate molecule. It gets converted into creatinine. This water soluble molecule easily gets converted into excreted into urine. This is the metabolism of creatinine. Now we go to the other products formed from glycine, that is bile salts. There are sodium and potassium salts of glycolic acid. glycolic acid is conjugated to cholic acid to form glycolate. Glycine is conjugated and first converted to cholic acid and then conjugated with cholic acid to form the glycolate. Second important compound which we get from glycine is heme. Heme is the part of hemoglobin. Heme plus apoprotein they form the hemoglobin. Heme is the pigment which combines with globulin protein to form hemoglobin. Glycine reacts with succinyl CoA to form a substance called as aminoleucinic acid. A reaction which needs pyridyl phosphate. The condensation of glycine with succinyl CoA gives ALA. ALA is then converted into PBG, parfobilinogen. Four molecules of parfobilinogen they form one uroporphyrogen molecule, which is converted into one copper-porphyrogen molecule. One copper-porphyrogen gives one proto-porphyrogen, which is converted into protoporphyrin and which chelates with iron to form heme. This heme is then utilized by different proteins like hemoglobin and many enzymes which are hemoprotein in nature. They depend upon this heme. So glycine becomes an important part of heme containing enzymes and proteins. Now next is formation of serine from glycine. Methylene tetrahydrofolate is used as a donor of one carbon fragment. It gives this carbon to glycine to form serine. The reaction is reversible. So here is that glycine on the left side will be converted into serine on the right side. The conversion takes a methyl group from methyl tetrahydrofolate, converting it into tetrahydrofolate, and the enzyme is serine hydroxymethyl transferase. This is very much reversible reaction. So we have already mentioned that it can be given as example of synthesis of glycine. Glycine is synthesized from serine by the same enzyme in reverse direction, where tetrahydrofolate is converted into methyl tetrahydrofolate and serine is converted into glycine. Hippuric acid is the conjugated product of glycine and benzoic acid. Glycine conjugates with the toxic compound like benzoate, an additive used to preserve food, to form the non-toxic hippuric acid, which is water soluble and gets easily excreted. This compound formation takes place in liver and excretion is by kidney. Here is the diagram of that a benzoic acid molecule is first converted into benzoyl CoA by expenditure of one ATP molecule, and this benzoyl CoA then reacts with glycine to form hippuric acid, which is excreted into urine. Neurotransmitter. The glycine itself acts as a neurotransmitter. Glycine acts as an inhibitory transmitter in spinal cord and medulla. A protein by name collagen, it is a very much structural protein, requires glycine for its synthesis. Collagen are the main proteins of connective tissue. All collagen types have a triple helical structure. Each helix is formed of three amino acids. Glycine is present at every third position. Here is a shown that collagen molecule. The sequence of amino acid in a peptide is shown, that is glycine XX, glycine XS, glycine XS, glycine XY, glycine XY, glycine XY, etc. Thereby indicating that every third amino acid is glycine in collagen. Then we go to glycolic acid. We are presenting here that glycolic acid is the specialized product formed from glycine. Actually, glycolic acid is the catabolic product of glycine. When glycine is deaminated, it forms glycolic acid. There are two. Yes, glycolic acid is formed from glycine by two mechanisms: oxidative deamination mechanism and transamination mechanism. In oxidative deamination, here it is shown, glycine is first converted to an amino acid by glycine oxidase, where FMN is converted to FMNH2. That FMNH2 is then converted back to FMN with the production of hydrogen peroxide, and that hydrogen peroxide in turn is converted by acted upon by catalase to U water. So this amino acid formed from glycine with the help of glycine oxidase is further added with a water molecule to form glycoxylic acid. The next pathway of conversion of glycine to glycolic acid is transamination. Transamination is transfer of amino group from an amino acid to a keto acid, thereby converting the amino acid into keto acid and keto acid into amino acid. So amino acid glycine, it gives away its amino group and gets converted into a keto acid, that is glycolic acid. Whereas alpha ketoglutarate accepts that amino group and gets converted into glutamate. Enzyme is transaminase and coenzyme is PLP. Fate of glycolic acid. To complete the catabolic fate of glycine, glycine is first converted to glycolic acid, then glycolic acid is further converted into formate. That is formation of, here it is shown, formation of formate by oxidative decarboxylation. Carbon dioxide is removed and glycoxyl is converted into pyruvate. The same reaction can go in reverse action. Formation of glycine can take place by reamination, that is a process of transamination. So these are the reactions of glycine. Now we go for the inborn errors of glycine metabolism. Primary hyperoxaluria, it is a metabolic disease characterized by excessive excretion of oxalate unrelated to dietary intake of oxalate, formation of urinary oxalate stones. It leads to formation of urinary stones. This condition usually ends by death in early life from either renal failure or by hypertension. Causes of causes failure of conversion of glyoxylic acid into formate or glycine. This leads to oxalate formation. That is glyoxylate, either it is transaminated to give glycine, that is blocked, or glyoxylate which is oxidized to formate is blocked. Then it turns towards formation of oxalate, and that oxalate results into renal failure and hypertension. Next disease is glycinuria. It is rare dominant X-linked disease characterized by excessive urinary excretion of glycine. It leads to formation of oxalate renal stones. Glycine is due to defect in renal tubular reabsorption of glycine. This reaction of catabolism of glycine. There is one enzyme which will convert glycine into carbon dioxide ammonia. This is done mainly by the action of the enzyme called glycine synthetase or glycine cleavage enzyme. The reaction of glycine cleavage enzyme is shown, that is glycine plus FH4 plus NAD gives NH3 ammonia molecule, CO2 carbon dioxide molecule, and methylene tetrahydrofolate plus NADH. This is the catabolic reaction. Same reaction, if it goes in backward direction, then glycine is formed from methylene tetrahydrofolate and ammonia and carbon dioxide. So this is the end of catabolic, that is metabolism of glycine with the two inborn errors. Next we will go for metabolism of serine and metabolism of histidine. Thank you.